I'm a really good judge of character. Have you ever heard people say that? Have you said that recently? I heard someone say that the other day, and it got me thinking that I used to say that all the time. It used to be really important for me that I was a good judge of character. That was something that I valued greatly. And that was something I said to people all the time in high school and college and my early 20s. And what I realized when this other person said it and reminded me how often I used to say that and don't say that as much anymore, is that often, not always, but often, the people who say they're good judges of character have problems with more people. So the reason why it's so important for us, and it was so important for me, to be such a good judge of character is because I had problems with a lot of different types of people. So it was important that I judged their character correctly and that they had low moral character. So it reminded me of a time in particular when I was playing basketball and this guy was fouling me all the time and I was getting really pissed off, and eventually I just grabbed him and held him back in a blatant flagrant foul. And I just decided this guy had horrible moral character. He was a bad guy. He was fouling me. He was intentionally doing this, blah, 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 all those reasons. And I was mad because he was doing that. But in reality, I was mad because he was better than me. That was the main reason why I was mad. But I told all my friends, this guy's a bad guy. He doesn't play fair. He doesn't call anything on himself. He wants to call everything on other people, and he's a bad guy. And we played with him over and over, and my friends treated him like crap, and they would call stuff on him, and we got into arguments. And of course, I confirmed my belief that he had bad character. Of course, I had bad character in that situation also. I grabbed him rather than just asking him about it, rather than just calling my own stuff, rather than just not worrying about it at all. So I displayed bad character too. And what I realized is that when we judge other people's character, at least if we judge it as poor character, which is usually what we mean when we say we're good judges of character. Not many people say, oh, I'm a really good judge of character, and this person is a great person. Some people do, and that probably serves them very well. But if you're constantly judging people negatively, if you're saying they have bad moral character or they're a low character person, you probably should try to change it. So a couple of weeks ago, I was playing volleyball, which I do all the time, and a guy who is new, also very good, which is interesting how my mind works, why when I'm playing sports with people who might be better than me, I'm more intimidated and more antagonistic with them. But he did something that I thought was pretty unfair. He set the ball over the net against fives, which in this gym we usually try not to do. Then he doubled something, which is technically illegal, and he didn't call it, and I was getting more and more angry with it. And then I touched the net, which is illegal, and I didn't say anything, and no one else saw it, and he pointed it out in an aggressive and sort of antagonistic way. And this really bugged me. I was like, who is this guy? He doesn't call his own stuff, and now he wants to call this, and blah, 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 blah. And so originally my thought was, oh, this guy's, I don't want to play with him. I don't like him. And so we finished playing, and I was walking off, and I was thinking about it, and I thought, okay, what else could this mean? And this is a great technique that I love to do anytime you're feeling angry about something or annoyed with somebody or pissed off at someone else. You say, what else could this mean? So what else could their behavior mean? Well, maybe he's depressed. Maybe that's why he's acting that way. Maybe he didn't realize he doubled. Maybe he doesn't see it as bad form to tip on fives. Maybe he views those as game infractions, which aren't important in a pickup place, but a net infraction is a safety issue, and so it is important in a pickup place. Maybe he doesn't know better. Maybe he was annoyed that day. Maybe he didn't get enough sleep. Maybe he was intimidated by me and thought I was really good. Maybe he wanted to impress me. Maybe he really wanted to win. Maybe he thought it was important to win. All of these things. And I listed as many things in my head as I could of what else could it mean, and crucially, I didn't try to find the answer. I just said, any of those things could be true, so let's not bother harping on the one truth that could be true of he has low character. And what I suggest is when you think somebody has low character, get to know them, treat them with high character, and be nice to them. If you demonstrate high character, you get to know them, and you're nice to them, overwhelmingly likely they will turn and have high character back. And that's what I did with this guy. I decided, you know what, next time I see him, actually I decided the next time I saw him, I'd just say, hey, what's up, man? And he said, hey, how's it going? Whatever. Whenever somebody just treats you nicely, you're probably going to treat them nicely back. And it seemed a little tense and awkward at first, but then we started playing and I started just joking around. and we got to be more and more friendly to the point where I was able to ask him to sub for one of my teams the other day, and of course we were very friendly and now have a good friendship. So I turned it around because rather than trying to judge his character, rather than trying to figure out whether or not he had bad character, I decided to be a creator of good character. So let go of your judgments of other people's character, because you're going to be wrong. No matter how good of a judgment of character you are, you will be wrong sometimes. What is a much more healthy thing to do, something that will serve you so much better, is to try to create good character in other people. Everyone has moments of high character. Everyone has moments of low character. In fact, I consider myself a high character person. And in preparing for this video, it was no trouble to think of many examples, some of which I gave in this video, of times when I operated with low character. So it's not that there are good people and bad people, people with high integrity and low integrity. We all have moments and situations where we act in good ways and sometimes when we act in bad ways. So the best thing to do, rather than try to figure out if that other person is a good person or a bad person or is high character or low character, try to create the situation where they are most likely to act in good ways. And I think the 3 things you can do that best make this likely is to get to know them. When we don't know somebody, we're far more likely to assign negative things to them. We're far more likely to be antagonistic, and we're far more likely to think of them as others. It's much easier for us to be mean to outgroups than people we know. If we know someone's story, we're going to have much more compassion for them, and we're much less likely to treat them negatively. And that goes both ways. While you're less likely to treat them negatively, they're a lot less likely to treat you negatively. So if you get to know somebody, they almost certainly will develop higher character around you. The second thing is to model high character. So if you think someone else, for example, in my volleyball or in my basketball, if they're not calling things fairly, continue to call things fairly yourself. Because often what happens is we want to make up for the fact that they're doing something we don't like, so we start doing it too. We get down to that level that we don't like, when maybe they don't realize they're doing that. So rather than going down to their level, which you don't like, stay at that high level and try to raise their level up. You'll find if you persist, it's not going to happen immediately, and that's the trap we often fall into. We think if we do it once, they'll follow suit. It doesn't work that way. But if we continue to act with high character, eventually they are likely to come up with us. And the third thing you can do is go out of your way to be nice to that person. In fact, the best thing to do is just go out of your way to be nice to as many people as possible, because that will definitely create a life for you that is easier and more fun, and you'll have a lot more friends. But if somebody acts in a way that you don't like, go out of your way to be nice to them, and not in a fake way. Don't force it. Don't give them compliments if you don't mean them. And if they're annoyed with you, give them space. Don't try to do it in the moment. But maybe the next time you see them, maybe a couple days later, just be friendly. Just say hi. You don't have to make this extreme nice thing that seems forced and fake. And if you can do that, you will not be a good judge of character. You will get people's character wrong all the time. But what you will do instead is be a good creator of character. And the best part is, while you're helping create all these more beneficial character in other people, slip there a little bit, but while you're trying to improve other people's character, what will inevitably happen is that your character will skyrocket. So while you're helping other people develop their sense of morality and goodness, yours will improve far more than everyone else's. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what questions you have in the comments below, and we'll see you next time.